Hey dolls and gents, today I'm going to be coming to you guys with a video all about my makeup primer collection, and I'm not going to be talking about every single one of these products because we would be here for a few hours for that, but I am going to discuss in detail my favorite makeup primer products because this is the first step that I do when I do my makeup every day or when I wear makeup. So I think it's really important that you find a primer that works for your skin type, and it just will help keep your makeup on all day because nobody wants to spend 30-45 minutes doing their makeup and then it just comes off really quick. I feel like priming is a key step to your makeup. So I'm going to hop in and talk about some products that I've recently purchased and also products that I've purchased a lot of. So the first primer that I've been obsessed about for a long time is the Makeup Forever Step 1. And this primer is a mattifying primer. And y'all know that I have oily skin, but my skin has been pretty weird lately because of the skincare products that I've been using. So this product I haven't been using a lot of lately, but before I used to purchase like 3 or 4 of these. I would go through them like all the time. This is a holy grail primer if you have super oily skin. All you have to do is apply a little bit and apply it to wherever you get oily. Like I would apply it to my T-zone area and then just put your makeup, your foundation on top, and oh my gosh, it will keep you matte all day long. The Becca Ever Matte Primer is also really good, but only if you are super oily. I found that the Becca Primer, it actually showed a little bit of dry patches on my skin just because I do have some dry patches on my skin. So this one is really good if you are a little oily, and then the Ever Matte is good if you're super oily. And yeah, I should have been holding it when I was talking about it, but this is the Becca Ever Matte Primer. So the next primer I want to talk about is the Korres Mattifying Primer. And this primer, to me, it didn't really keep me matte. I am not a fan of this primer, which is why I still have it, like just in case I decide to use it, but really it needs to be thrown away. So another mattifying primer that I have is the Milani Prime Shield. This is their mattifying pressed pore minimizing primer, and I have not used this primer yet, so I will come back and definitely do a video on this primer once I've used it. But if you have used this primer, let me know if it kept you matte down below in the comments, or just let us know your overall thoughts on this primer since I have not tried this one out myself. So I have 2 spray primers, and the first one that I purchased was the Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Complexion Prep Spray. And this one, I didn't really notice a difference with my makeup. So sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't. It just depends. But honestly, I didn't really see a difference when I used this primer. But I absolutely love my Skindinavia Makeup Primer Spray. This one is amazing. It definitely does keep your makeup on all day, and it does keep me matte, so I highly recommend this one. So next we're going to talk about some pore minimizing primers. If you have pores on your skin, which are really like large holes on your face, you can see them in photos, or if someone's really close to your face, or if you have an HD camera zoomed into your face like I do sometimes, you can definitely see pores. So pore minimizing primers are really great because it's going to allow your foundation to glide on very smooth. So I have a few pore minimizing primers here, and I'm going to talk about my favorite ones and tell you which ones I don't like. So the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer is a really good primer. I don't use this one that often because I typically go for the mattifying one because that helps to smooth my pores as well. But if you don't have any oily problems and you just want to smooth out your pores, this one is really bomb. Another pore minimizing primer is the Benefit POREfessional. I personally do not like this one. It leaves a weird film on my face, and my foundation never glides on smooth when I use this. So I'm not a fan, but I know a lot of people love this. If you love it, I'm sorry, but we all love different things. I'm just letting y'all know how I feel about the products. One of my favorites is the Urban Decay Pore Perfecting Primer. Y'all know that I love this one. This one I use along with my mattifying primer. I'll put that in my T-zone area, and I'll put this over my nose. That's where I tend to have the most pores at, the largest pores, and it works really great. I love it, and I love the consistency of it. Another favorite is the Dr. Brandt Pores No More. This one is a little bit on the expensive side, but it works wonders. So if you have large pores, definitely check this one out. The last one that I want to talk about is the Tarte Clean Slate Poreless. This one is really good. The only reason that I do not use it anymore is because it has that silicone-like fill, so it's very slippery, and I find that because I have oily skin, those kind of primers don't work great on me. If you have more normal or dry skin, you'll love this one, but if you have oily skin, stay away from the silicone kind of primers because those just make us super oily. I almost forgot to mention the Tarte Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. This one is also good if you want to get rid of pores, but this is really good for like dry combination skin. Again, if you're oily, you may not like this one, but it is a good primer if you have like more normal or dry skin. So I have a bunch of nourishing and hydrating primers here that I want to share with you guys. The first one isn't really a primer, but y'all know we have been using this bad boy as a primer, and it is the Nivea Men Post-Shave Balm. I know a lot of you are scared to use this because you think that your man is going to think that you're with another man because you're going to smell like a man, but this primer is really, really good. I think it's good for all skin types, oily, dry combination. This thing is like, I want to say $6 or $7, so you really cannot beat that. This primer, you want to wait until it gets sticky and then apply your foundation. I like using a beauty blender whenever I use this primer, and my foundation lasts so long when I use it, so I highly recommend this one. And I have the Nourishing and Hydrating Primers from Makeup Forever, and these are good as well, but again, my skin is not dry, so using these, it really doesn't do much for making my foundation last, but I love using these on my clients. I also have the NYX Angel Veil Skin Perfecting Primer, and this one, it leaves like a white film on my skin that I do not like. I know some people love this product, so maybe a little bit of this goes a long way, but when I have used this product, I did not like the results, so I'm not a fan of this primer. One of my current favorites I recently picked up is the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. This one is so bomb. Even though my skin isn't dry, I just love the way that this primer works, and it keeps my foundation on all day. It makes it just glide on so smooth. That's what I use today, and I've had this makeup on for over like 9 hours now, and it still looks really good, so highly recommend this one. Another favorite is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer. This is the original one. Again, this is one of those kind of like hydrating, nourishing foundation. Again, this is one of those hydrating, nourishing primers, so you can't lose with this primer. I love it for all skin types. Next, we have the Clinique Super Primer. This one is just okay. I didn't notice any difference when I used it, so I don't dislike it, but I don't love it either. Another nourishing primer that I have is the Korres Greek Yogurt one, and again, I didn't really notice a difference with this primer, so I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I do have a couple of color correcting primers, and the first one, I have not used this in a while. I don't even know if they still make this, but I really used to love this one. This is the Tarte CC Color Clay Primer, and this one, it has different colors within it. I'll show you guys. So it has my actual shade, and then it has a purple and a green tinted side to it. And once you swipe it on, it just gives you a nice primer and also a tint to your skin so you can use less foundation. And I think this is really great for oily combination skin. Makeup Forever also has some color correcting primers, and I use this one in the middle. This shade is Caramel, and it works really great for deeper skin tones. If your skin is kind of dull, then I highly recommend that you use this along with any of their step 1 primers, like their smoothing, hydrating, or mattifying primer. I think they have a few more, but you can use these along with those, and it's going to give you a great start to your foundation. And they also have 2 other shades if you have a lighter skin tone. They have the yellow one, and they also have the peach one. I forgot to talk about one of my favorite hydrating primers, and that is the NYX Hydra Touch Primer. This one is really good as well. I've been using it quite a lot lately, especially like in the fall and winter time. I was using this a lot. Lastly, we're going to get into the silicone face primers, and I do not use these anymore because 1, I don't like the way that it clogs my pores, and 2, it just makes me super oily. But if you like the feeling of those primers or you have dry skin, then definitely, you know, don't listen to what I'm saying because you'll probably love it. But if you have oily skin like me, stay away from these because they are not your friend, okay? The first one is the Bareminerals Primetime Original. Now, I do use this primer when I wear a powder foundation just because I like the way that it grips to my powder foundation. So that's the only time I use this. I would not use this with a regular foundation because it would just not give me the flawless look that I want. Another one is the Napoleon Perdis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is the Autopilot Primer. I used to rock this one all the time. It is like the bomb, but since I no longer wear the silicone primers, I don't buy this one anymore. Another one is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This one is good, and don't get me wrong, these primers make your foundation look good for an hour or so, but when you're oily, it just makes you start to oil up within like 2 or 3 hours, and then your foundation just looks greasy and crazy. But this primer, if you have dry skin, yes, you're gonna love it. A cheaper alternative to that is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. This one is really good as well. So the last silicone-like primer that I have is the Time Balm Face Primer. And this one, again, it's not a bad primer. It's just the fact that I do not use these kind of primers anymore. So there are also under eye primers. The one that I like to use is this one from Smashbox. It is their Hydrating Photo Finish Under Eye Primer, and this one is so good for underneath your eyes. If you find that your concealer creases when you apply your concealer and you bake, I highly recommend that you get an under eye primer. So I pretty much talked about every single primer except the ones that are still in here. I hope that y'all found this video helpful. I just wanted to go through my primers because I know I'm always using a different one, but I wanted to give you my thoughts on each of them. And if you have been wanting to purchase one, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you have any primers that you feel like I should have talked about in this video, or you thought that I should definitely have, definitely let me know your favorite primer in the comment section down below, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye.